It seems like every day now, there's some crazy new headline about AI,
Yeah,
right? I mean, are we on the verge of something really big here? It feels like it.
it really does. Yeah.
So today we're going deep on a report called AI Frontiers, Peering into the Future of AI.
Oh, wow.
And this report really lays out some innovations that could completely change, like what it means to be human.
I mean, it really does capture that feeling that we're living in the future now.
Oh, isn't it? Yeah.
These aren't just like small steps forward anymore. These are huge leaps. Things that felt like they were, decades away.
Right. It's not science fiction anymore. It's
Yeah.
like here and now.
Exactly.
So let's just jump right in, okay?
Yeah.
Let's start with quantum computing because this report highlights a new quantum AI algorithm.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds pretty intense.
This is where things get really wild, right?
Yeah.
Think of it like this. A regular computer, it's kind of like when you're trying to find a specific grain of sand on a beach.
Yep.
Right, you're looking one by one. A quantum computer with this new algorithm, it's like you can analyze the whole beach instantly.
Wow. So it's not just like, oh, it's a little bit faster. It's like a completely different way of problem solving.
Exactly. And it opens up all these doors for AI that we couldn't even imagine before, like designing new drugs.
Right.
That's so complex right now.
Yeah.
This algorithm could analyze tons of molecular combinations all at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Breakthroughs in medicine, materials, you name it.
That's a total game changer, especially in areas like drug discovery where, like, time is really of the essence.
Yeah, absolutely. And it raises a really interesting question, right? Are we close to AGI, artificial general intelligence? Like, that's the kind of AI that can understand and reason like a human.
Right. Not just follow instructions.
Not just do one task.
Yeah.
Dr. Quinn Nguyen, who's like a leading AI researcher, she's quoted in the report, she says, quantum AI might be the key to unlocking a new level of machine understanding.
I mean, that's so exhilarating and kind of terrifying all at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what if we create something that's actually smarter than us?
Yeah,
It's amazing and kind of scary.
for sure. And that leads us to something else the report talks about, this whole ethics of AGI question. So we're making these AI systems that are super powerful, but how do we make sure they're actually using their powers for good?
Right. Because it's not just can AI do this, it's should it do this?
Exactly.
And the report mentions a new ethical framework for AI. It was developed by a bunch of different think tanks all around the world.
And it's not just like some, theoretical document. This framework, it's got real guidelines for developers, like how to make AI systems that are transparent,
Okay.
accountable, and fair.
So, for example, with transparency, does that mean we need to be able to understand how an AI makes its decisions?
Exactly.
Like if it's diagnosing someone with something, doctors should be able to know how it got there.
Yes, exactly.
Not just trust the output.
Right. It's all about building trust, making sure these powerful systems are being used responsibly. And with accountability, it's like if something goes wrong, who's in charge?
Right. That
Right.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like, as AI is doing more and more in our lives, we need to make sure that it's safe and ethical.
Yeah.
Okay, this next topic sounds straight out of science fiction.
Uh-oh.
Brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs.
Right.
Like, that's mind control, isn't it?
They're getting closer and closer to reality all the time.
Yeah.
AI is a big part of why we're seeing BCIs that can read signals in our brains so accurately.
So we could control computers with our minds? Like, is that what we're talking about? The Matrix kind of thing?
Kinda, yeah. So the report, it talks about how this could help people who are paralyzed, like, regain movement. Imagine someone who can't move their arms or legs, but they can control a robotic arm just by thinking.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty amazing.
That's incredible. Like, you're giving people back abilities that they've lost.
Exactly, and that's just the beginning, right? Researchers are also looking at how BCIs could let us communicate in totally new ways, like maybe even share our thoughts and feelings directly with each other.
Whoa. That's mind-blowing. But being that connected, having access to our thoughts, that opens up some huge ethical questions, doesn't it? Like, what about privacy?
Oh, absolutely. Privacy and security are major concerns when you're talking about tech that can basically tap into your brain.
I mean, it's amazing to think about all the possibilities, but we have to be really careful here.
For sure.
It's got to be done ethically.
Yeah, as we're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, we have to keep in mind what could go wrong.
So we've gone from, like, the microscopic world of quantum computing to the possibility of, our minds merging with machines. It's crazy how fast all of this is developing. And speaking of pushing boundaries, let's talk about space exploration,
Right.
the final frontier.
That's where AI really becomes our partner in exploration.
Hmm.
The report talks about how in space there are all these challenges, these vast distances. AI can help us overcome those.
Right, because we're talking about places that would kill a human,
Right.
right? And communication delays make it impossible to control things in real time.
Yeah.
So the report quotes Dr. Marcus Lim, who's the AI lead at NASA, and he says, AI is our partner in reaching beyond our solar system.
Powerful statement, right?
Yeah.
AI can look at all this data from space, figure out where to land, even fly spacecraft on its own, make decisions in real time when something unexpected happens.
It's like having a co-pilot, but with superpowers.
Right.
It
Total.
never gets tired, never gets emotional.
And this partnership, it's already making incredible discoveries.
Yeah.
Like the Mars rovers, they use AI for navigation and analyzing data.
It's kind of mind-blowing to think that right now AI is out there exploring other planets for us.
It is. And as AI gets smarter, we can have even bigger missions, right? Deeper into space.
Wow.
Maybe even sending AI to other star systems.
That's wild. It makes you wonder, like, what will humans even be doing in space if AI can do all this?
That's the question, isn't it? But one thing's for sure. AI is pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. It's opening up a whole universe of opportunities for us to explore and discover new things.
Okay, so we've covered so much ground already. We talked about quantum AI, we talked about merging our minds with machines, and then we went all the way out into space with AI as our guide.
Yeah,
But let's bring it back down to Earth for a minute, okay? Let's talk about sustainability,
right.
because this report makes it really clear that AI can have a huge impact on things like climate change and how we manage our resources.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? We often think of AI as this big futuristic thing, but it's already making a difference in some of the most important challenges we're facing right now.
The report definitely emphasizes that. Like, it says AI can be crucial for building a more sustainable future.
Yeah, and it's not just like some far-off dream. We're already seeing real examples of how AI is helping us use energy better, create less waste, and manage things more efficiently.
Okay, so give me some specifics. How is AI actually making a difference?
Well, think about something as basic as traffic. Cities are starting to use AI systems to track traffic patterns and then adjust traffic lights in real time.
Oh, yeah.
It reduces congestion and it cuts down on emissions.
I've heard about that. It's amazing how something as simple as changing when traffic lights turn red and green can really affect how much fuel we use and how clean the air is.
Right. It's a perfect example of how AI can find those efficiencies that humans might miss. And it's not just traffic. Like AI is being used to make our energy grids smarter too.
Okay.
It's helping us use renewable energy sources like solar and wind way more effectively.
So AI is basically helping us transition to a future where we're using cleaner energy.
Exactly. AI can analyze weather patterns to predict how much energy we're going to need and then adjust the mix of energy sources so we have a steady supply that's also sustainable.
That's incredible. It's like AI is conducting this giant, complicated orchestra, making sure everything works together in harmony.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just energy. Think about agriculture. AI can monitor crops, make sure they're getting the right amount of water, and reduce the need for things like pesticides and fertilizers.
So we're doing more with less, right? Like using technology to make sure we're not harming the environment.
Yeah, exactly. And, the report even talks about this idea of a type 1 civilization, like a civilization that can use all the energy on its planet. It's a really interesting concept.
A Type 1 civilization. That sounds like something straight out of Star Trek. Are we really going to get there?
It's definitely a long way off, but AI could be a big part of how we get there. If we manage our resources more intelligently and we switch to renewable energy, it could become a reality.
I mean, it's inspiring, but also kind of daunting to think about how big these challenges are and how AI might be able to help us solve them.
It really is. It reminds us that AI is not just a technology. It's a tool, and it can be used for good or for bad. It all depends on how we decide to develop it and put it to use.
Right, that's a really important point. We can't just assume AI is going to fix everything for us. We have to be really thoughtful about how we integrate it and make sure it's aligned with our values.
Absolutely. We need to have a conversation about the ethical implications of AI, especially when we're talking about something as vital as sustainability. It has to benefit everyone, not just a select few.
It's a conversation we need to have now. Like right now, while these technologies are still being developed, we need to be proactive and shape the future we want. A future where AI helps us create a world that's more sustainable and more equitable.
I couldn't agree more. The choices we make today are going to have a huge impact down the road. We have to be aware of the risks and make sure we're using AI in a responsible and ethical way.
Okay, so we've talked about AI's potential to completely change healthcare, space exploration, and now sustainability. It's clear this technology is super powerful, but as they say, with great power comes great responsibility. As we go forward, what do you think is the most important thing to remember?
For me, the most important thing is remembering that AI isn't going to replace human ingenuity and compassion. It's a tool, it can help us do amazing things, but ultimately we're the ones who have to use it wisely and ethically.
That's a great point. It's not about man versus machine. It's about man with machine working together to build a better future.
Exactly. And that future starts with the choices we make now, the conversations we have, the questions we ask.
So in this deep dive, we went from the tiny world of quantum computing to the vastness of space and then back down to Earth to think about sustainability. It really feels like AI is going to impact every part of our lives moving forward.
And that's the thing, right? We're not talking about these isolated advancements anymore. All these AI frontiers, they're all connected and they're influencing each other. In the end, they're shaping the world we're going to be living in.
So it's not enough to just understand each individual breakthrough. We would have to see the bigger picture, like how they all fit together.
Yeah, exactly. Think about it. The ethical rules we come up with for AGI, for example, those are going to affect how we design AI for everything. Space exploration, healthcare, even sustainability. It's all connected.
It's like a ripple effect, right? Like
Yeah.
one discovery, one decision about ethics can have consequences in all sorts of different areas. It's exciting and a little bit overwhelming at the same time.
It is, yeah. But it's also a huge opportunity. I mean, we're at this unique point in history where we can actually shape the future of AI. We can make sure it's used for good, that it helps everyone.
And that brings us back to the main point of our deep dive today, all right? AI is a powerful tool, but it's up to us to use it wisely. It's not about being afraid of technology. It's about understanding it and making sure it develops in a way that aligns with our values.
We need to be having these tough conversations about ethics, about responsibility, about what kind of future we want, and we need to have them now before it's too late.
Because once the genie's out of the bottle, it's a lot harder to put it back in. We have to be proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. That means getting involved, learning about AI, asking those tough questions, challenging assumptions. We all have a role to play here.
Well said. Okay, before we go, I want to leave you with something to think about. What frontier that we talked about today excites you the most? And what impact do you hope it has on your life?
That's a great question. Because the future of AI, it's not something that's just happening to us. We're creating it together.
And that's what we're all about here on the Deep Dive, giving you the knowledge, encouraging you to think critically, and getting you involved in the conversation about the future we're building.
So join us next time as we explore another fascinating topic, something that will definitely challenge what you think you know. We're going to be doing a deep dive into synthetic biology.
Oh, interesting.
We're going to be looking at the possibilities of actually engineering life itself.
Wow. Well, until then, stay curious.